All right, there's one move. Well, there's two moves that we're waiting for the Detroit Lions to make here as we round out free agency. It's defensive end and interior offensive line. I think the move that the interior offensive line is way more likely to happen now, given what has just happened. So the Eagles are in the same spot as the Lions. The Eagles want a defensive end, and they also need to replace their stud guard who signed in free agency with the Chargers. So a lot of people were saying that the Eagles were the ones that were going to get Brandon Scherf. That's the guy that we're kind of looking at. He's going to be 34 years old. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler. He's very similar to Zeitler. Zeitler got $10 million. Scherf you could get for more like 5-6, hopefully. That's kind of what we're hoping for. Maybe he's looking at the big deal that Zeitler got and saying, I want $10 million. And in that case, maybe that's why we're at a standstill. But here's why this becomes a lot more likely. You can see this is a ranking of the best available free agents. Azeez Ojulari just signed with the Eagles. So the Eagles and the Lions were the two that are looking for guard help. And the Eagles decided to get the defensive end. Now they could still get Scherf, no question. But when you're looking at giving $5 to $10 million per year, you just gave that money to a defensive end. So it makes it more likely that the Lions could get Brandon Scherf, which we need. Okay, we need defensive end help, and we'll get to Lions just re-signed another defensive lineman. We'll get to that in just a second. Need a star defensive end. I think we can get that through the draft better than free agency, and that's just where we're at with it, and we just got to be okay with it, and I think that's what's going to happen. But interior offensive line, remember, Mahogany's going to take over for Zeitler. And now the question is Graham Glasgow. Do you trust Graham Glasgow to be one of your guards? Or is it like, man, what if he is able to be a depth piece at center guard? He's that valuable, right? So you're paying him more than you'd like to. And I could see like a contract restructuring or something like that with Graham Glasgow. But that's what you have to ask yourself, because he definitely regressed last year, especially towards the end of the year. And so if he is regressing, then it's like, okay, let's get our dude here, Brandon Scherf. Let's do that. So I think it's more likely that the Lions get a interior offensive lineman than a defensive end, because the draft is loaded with those guys. Now, with that said, the Lions did make a move today, and they re-signed another defensive lineman in Pat O'Connor. So again, he's not leading us to the Super Bowl by any means, but Pat O'Connor, if you remember, really played well, kind of came onto the active roster, and with all the injuries, he played pretty well. But then, of course, he had an injury in the finale. I mean, jeez. It was like, what are we doing? Because remember, against the Vikings, like he's getting in there. He's making things happen. No, I'm sorry, against the Packers. It was against the Packers a couple weeks earlier. It's like, who is this guy? And then he gets hurt. It's like, okay. But he was with our new defensive line coach, Casey Rogers, for 2019 to 2023. So that's quite a long time. So love that. Okay. Something else that just came out is, and I think it's worth looking at, is PFF came out with their latest mock draft, and you kind of look at it here. You get down to where the Lions are. And one of the things I've noticed is Nick Scorton continues to pop up. After the Lions suffered no fewer than 250 injuries to their defense a year ago. I love that. I haven't seen that number yet. They add an edge opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. Don't let his lack of production fool you. Texas A&M scheme didn't allow a lot of true pass rushes, but look around. I like kind of looking here. You've got defensive lineman Walter Nolan. You've got Colston Loveland falling down to the Rams. That's crazy. Michael Williams, Mike Green continues to fall. I mean, Mike Green was like top 15. Now he's 22. So you just never know who's going to fall right here into the 28. And this is, again, why I'd like, for years the Lions were picking in the top 10, 11, 12, and you're just pressured into drafting someone that we got to take him, because what if he turns out to be a stud and we didn't take him? Or you here it's like you just have more freedom to make the right call, and that's what you've seen the Lions do the last few years. So love it. Love all the defensive ends. That's just all there is to it. All right, here are the remaining free agents. And Tevin Jenkins, maybe a corner. I mean, they're ranking all the best available. I mean, you could take Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers out of there. They're quarterbacks, so that's weighted really higher, but we don't care about that. Von Miller, maybe he wants just too much money, and he's 30. What is he, 35? There's Brandon Scherf right there. There's a couple more edges that are still kind of hanging around that you just like, man, do we take a flyer on them? But is it going to cost you $5 million? What's it going to cost? That's the whole thing. Let me know in the comments here if there's anyone that you see. But running back, we're good. Safety, we're good. So it's edge, Will Hernandez. Linebacker, we're good. Wide receiver, we're good. I mean, because you got to remember, there's 53 men on the roster, so you could add another wide receiver, but we really are set wide receiver wise. Another guard here in Matt Pryor. Then you start to get down to like, we're just going to draft somebody at that guard position at this point. But I still love adding a veteran player. No need to put a rookie in that position. Yeah. Let me know your thoughts on that. I mean, Quandre Diggs, no. This is crazy. I mean, these guys are great names, but you just got to remember, this is what free agency is. It's guys that are at the end. They are, and you're paying for the name. You're paying for what they did do. And it's hard to not go for it. It's like, oh my gosh, Rasul Douglas? Heck yeah. And he could be sitting there saying, I want $8-10 million a year. And it's like, man, I'll give you $4 million. And so, you're just playing that game with these veteran dudes. So, again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. If you're new to the channel, we talk all Lions every single day. And the draft is coming up. And that is where we really have fun and like to have interactions and go live. And it's just, it's really fun. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, because we'll be coming at you with a lot of different things. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll see all of you on the next one.